Hi everyone, I am Dr. Shyam Ramakrishnan and I head the research and development for Southeast Asia, India and Taiwan. Today I want to share a very personal and powerful journey, one that began not in the clinic or in the lab, but in the gut. Yes, the gut. As a scientist, I spent years researching wellness. But it wasn't until I turned the microscope inward into my own biology that the transformation truly began. You know that phrase, go with your gut? Well, I did. And it changed everything. This wasn't just a clean eating experiment, it was a precision guided change based on gut science. So I got an opportunity to investigate my own gut and find what's happening to my microbiome. And as you can see, the outcome is something to celebrate somewhat. I've scored a great zone for my gut microbial balance. It means my gut has a high ratio of beneficial bacteria to harmful ones. And that's a big deal because the presence of too many pathogenic microbes can quietly drive inflammation, disrupt immunity, and affect everything from digestion to brain clarity. But when your gut is balanced, like this report shows, it becomes your greatest health ally. And this didn't happen by chance. This is a second section of my gut health report, and this one is especially close to my heart. This section of the report is called Think Well, and it looks at how the gut microbiome influences things like sleep quality, mental clarity, focus, mood, and even emotional resilience. I'm proud to share that my score here is a strong 9 out of 10. That's not just a number, it's a reflection of balance within my gut that is helping support balance in my brain. We often think mental performance is just about mindset and willpower, but science tells us that our gut microbes produce key neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA that influence how we feel and function throughout the day. This high scores means my gut is producing the right chemicals at the right time to help me stay calm, think clearly, and sleep better. Now, let's talk about something I'm especially proud of, my Live Well score, which reflects the connection between my gut and my immune system, as well as multiple key organs. As you can see, I have scored a perfect 10, right in the great zone. To be honest, I was surprised myself. That means the balance of gut bacteria in my system is producing the right compounds to support overall immunity and organ health. It looks at how gut microbes produce beneficial chemicals that support everything from heart and liver function to digestive efficiency and immune response. These tiny bacteria are like health engineers, constantly working behind the scenes to keep major systems running smoothly. Now, let's move on to a part of gut health that impacts how we feel every single day, our digestion and metabolism. This section of my report is called Feel Well, and it looks at how well my gut is breaking down food, absorbing those nutrients, and converting it into useful energy through the microbiome. My score here is 8 out of 10, which still puts me in a great zone, and I'm really happy with that. And you may be thinking, why is this important? Because if your gut isn't efficiently breaking down food, it doesn't matter how healthy your diet is, your body won't fully benefit from it. This score tells me my gut is doing a solid job transforming food into fuel, supporting energy levels, metabolism, and even detoxification. It also shows that daily effort to eat fiber rich, nutrient dense food, taking probiotics and proteins, and staying active is truly paying off. So, if you want to feel good from the inside out, start by helping your gut do what it does best: absorb, activate, energize. When I focused on improving my gut health, I began to notice unexpected results or transformations, which I could quantify finally through lab reports. This was the beginning of my protocol I call Gut Morning Plus N. It wasn't a supplement, it was an intentional strategy. Of course, combined with exercise and a great diet, made all the difference. Every morning I started with plant protein, fiber, and targeted probiotics, plus few key nutrients. The result, more stable energy, reduced cravings, and better focus throughout the day. But most important part, my clinical markers improved. And this was based upon my goals. But let's break this down and look at the science behind each component. Let's talk about the proof points for morning nutrition. Actually, the idea behind the gut morning is backed by some powerful biology. We now know that this gut is central to the health of nearly every organ system. It impacts how we metabolize glucose, absorb nutrients, manage inflammation, and even regulate mood. I'll spend a couple of minutes on the science of morning nutrition and then dive deeper into the nutrients themselves. A concept that connects us with every living being on earth is called the body clock, or scientifically, the circadian rhythm. Now, you might think clocks are just for humans, but nature tells us otherwise. Birds, flowers, animals, all of them live by an internal clock, perfectly synchronized with the rhythm of the sun and the earth's rotation. Birds don't just randomly decide to migrate, they follow a biological rhythm that tells them exactly when to take flight. Flowers bloom at the precise hour they know pollinators will arrive. This internal clock helps every creature optimize energy, avoid danger, reproduce, and importantly, survive. And here's the magic, we humans have the same clock inside us. It tells us when to wake, eat, move, even heal. And when we align our habits like sleep, food, and activity with this natural rhythm, we thrive. But when we fight it, fatigue, cravings, and illness creep in. So today, let's understand the body clock not just as science, but as a powerful reminder we are built to live in rhythm with nature. The concept of circadian rhythm is backed by some of the most prestigious scientific recognition in the world. In fact, the identification of a complex mechanism involved in circadian rhythm or internal body clock was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2017, not too long ago. These three scientists were honored for uncovering the molecular mechanisms that control our biological clock. Their groundbreaking work revealed how our bodies follow a 24-hour rhythm, influencing when we sleep, eat, release hormones, and even how we heal and think. This internal clock isn't just a metaphor, it's hardwired into every cell in our body. Their discovery has shaped how we understand health, metabolism, and disease. And that is why I believe it is so important for us to talk about. When we align our nutrition, especially morning nutrition, with our circadian rhythm, we are not just eating at the right time, we are, in fact, working with our biology and not against it. Morning nutrition isn't just a habit, it's a science backed strategy to live in sync with body's natural intelligence. Starting the day by feeding your microbiome with prebiotics, probiotics, and protein creates what I call the metabolic sunrise. It activates beneficial pathways right when your body is most responsive, early in the day. In my experience, the cumulative benefit becomes very real, very fast. So let's zoom into the first key pillar, protein, and in fact, plant-based protein. Plant protein does a lot more than build muscle. It's low in saturated fat, supports heart health, and improves satiety. That means fewer cravings and better weight control. One lesser known fact, digesting protein increases thermogenesis. Your body burns more calories simply by processing it. And studies show that a high protein breakfast can improve insulin and appetite regulation even at your next meal. I chose all plant protein for its complete amino acid profile and gentle effect on digestion. It became my breakfast anchor. So, what happens when you put this to test? Eat a sugary breakfast and you get a quick burst of energy. Then crash, feel hungry and crave more fuel. And that's exactly what protein and fiber are for your body. Steady, lasting fuel that keeps you energized and satisfied for hours. This 2015 Journal of Nutrition study showed that a high protein breakfast doesn't just balance your morning energy, it also keeps sugar in check even after lunch, thanks to what is called the second meal effect. The result? Fewer crashes, better focus, easier weight control. At Neutralite, we investigated this mechanism a little further. So let me walk you through a clinical study we conducted to assess how our all plant protein can help manage post-meal glucose spikes. We started by recruiting 14 healthy individuals between 30 to 50 years old, but with one key detail. They all had slightly compromised blood glucose levels. That made them an ideal group to study subtle changes in glucose control. On day one, each participant consumed a standard 75-gram glucose load. This is similar to what is done in an oral glucose tolerance test or OGTT. We measured their blood glucose levels at multiple time points: 10 minutes before, then 15, 30, 45, 60, 90, and 120 minutes after consuming glucose. Then on day 4, we repeated the same glucose load. But this time, the participants consumed 3 scoops of our all plant protein just before the experiment. The aim was to see whether the protein preload could blunt the postprandial glucose spike. The study ended on day 4, and the glucose readings from both the days were compared to evaluate the impact of all plant protein on glucose regulation. In a sense, we were testing if the protein could act like a metabolic buffer, helping stabilize glucose levels after a high carb intake. On the left, we have a graph showing the change in blood glucose levels after consuming a standard 75-gram glucose dose. You can clearly see that the glucose spike was much higher without all plant protein. Blood sugar peaked at around 61 milligram per deciliter, while the all plant protein group showed a much lower peak and even started declining by the 45-minute point. On the right side is a graph which is a real highlight. The incremental area under the curve, or IAUC, which summarizes the total rise in glucose over time. Without APP, the IAUC was over 3,000. But when the participants took the all plant protein drink first, that number dropped dramatically to just 700.5. In simple terms, consuming the all plant protein drink before a glucose load significantly blunted the rise in blood sugar. That's a powerful demonstration of its potential to support post-meal glucose control. Now let's shift our focus towards fiber. Imagine starting your day with a strong foundation, one that keeps you fueled, steady, and controlled, and that's exactly what fiber does. Similar role to protein. A high fiber breakfast isn't just about feeling full, it's about staying full longer. It naturally regulates your appetite, reducing the urge to overeat at your next meal. But the benefits go far beyond satiety. Fiber is a secret weapon for blood sugar stability. It slows down glucose absorption, preventing those sharp spikes and crashes that drain your energy. Science proves it. A study comparing the effect of sugar-sweetened drink alone versus one with the added fiber, like the indigestible dextrine, showed a slower, steadier rise in blood sugar when fiber was present. So what does this mean for you? Better energy, stability, improved digestion, and long-term metabolic health, all starting with a fiber-rich morning meal. So if you want to stay energized, focused, and in control of your metabolism, make fiber part of your first meal of the day. So when you combine a high-quality protein like all plant protein and Nutrilite fiber, I believe amazing things can happen. And it's not just physical. Studies shows cognitive performance improves too. People are more focused, less impulsive, and make better food choices throughout the day. Now, let's take a deeper look at what is happening at the microbial level. So what we did at Nutrilite, we performed some in vitro fermentation test. So when we ran this in vitro test to simulate how our gut morning blend affects our gut microbiome, specifically our Neutralite probiotics, the results were incredible. Over a million-fold increase in the beneficial bacteria like the lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. So our probiotics thrived in the presence of our all-plant protein and our fiber. This shows that the right prebiotic environment can accelerate microbial growth. And even more, we saw changes in metabolite production, like butyrate, which protects the gut lining and supports immunity. Of course, these are lab results, but they hint at what's possible in the living system. For me, these findings validated my own choices. And it's not just the bacteria, it's what they make that really matters. Let's talk about another secret weapon to start your day right, phytonutrients. Think of your body in the morning like a high performance machine. Your metabolism revving, insulin sensitivity peaking, and your gut microbes are dancing in sync. This is the prime time to fuel your body the most colorful, potent plant compounds nature has to offer, phytonutrients. These powerful compounds found in fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices do way more than add color to your plate. They act like tiny bodyguards at the cellular level, fighting off oxidative stress, boosting your metabolism, and even enhancing your focus and mental clarity. When you eat phytonutrients like the ones found in XX in the morning, you're doing more than just nourishing your body. You're activating pathways that support long lasting energy, better digestion, and sharper thinking, and importantly, a stronger immune response. Finally, one of my all time favorite, omega 3 fish oil. The evidence for the impact of omega 3 on our health has been immense. Incidentally, did you know that your body's omega 3 levels are naturally lower in the morning? That means your cells are actually more ready to absorb these essential fats right after you wake up. And that is where DHA and EPA, two powerful omega 3 fatty acids, come in. Science supports this too. Interestingly, a 2021 study published in Journal Nutrition looked at how timing of fish oil matters. They found that when people took omega 3s in the breakfast, their triglyceride levels and saturated fat levels dropped more significantly compared to when they took it at dinner. So, what does it mean for you? If you want to kickstart fat metabolism, support your heart, fuel your brain, take your omega 3s in the morning along with your food. It's a small habit, but with great impact. Think of it as nutrition that works with your body's rhythm, starting your day on the right note. As we have seen today, a strong, energetic body doesn't just begin in the gym. It begins with the gut. The right fuel in the morning, like high quality plant protein, fiber, probiotics, even timely omega 3s can dramatically improve how your body performs physically, mentally, and metabolically. Whether it is stabilizing your blood sugar, improving your fat metabolism, or sharpening your focus. These small daily choices create powerful, lasting impact. The science is very clear. So let's stop thinking of gut health as just digestion. It is your foundation for strength, stamina, and long term wellness. Start your day right, feel your body smart, and keep your internal fire burning. Thank you, everyone.